When you look back, I mean, extraordinary. A year ago, wasn't it, that it happened? How does it feel now? Because obviously it was a huge thing that you went through. Does it feel real, what happened to you?
It's amazing because it's been just a year and it's been the hardest year and perhaps the most positive year of my life. I mean, I've gone through incredibly hard things. I've lost some incredibly close colleagues and, you know, I've learned to walk again. But I also come out of this feeling that I'm so lucky to still be alive. There's so much good to be done, that in the names of Pierre and Sasha, you know, who died, that we have to go out and make the best of life and do everything we can. So it's been a difficult year, but got to keep moving forward.
Ben, looking at that footage there of the vehicle and you being transported away and put on the train to safety, does any of that come back to you? Have you got any memories of what was going on?
No, I remember all of that, and I think about it every single day. I think about sitting there on the ground with, you know, missing my leg, very badly burnt and a lot of pain, and I think back to that moment, and I was sitting there for 40 minutes and no one could find us because there was no cell phone reception, and very difficult moments, very difficult evacuation as well. A few days, in fact, on the Polish Prime Minister's train, we had to evacuate it, you know, in this covert way, but I think back to it and it gives me strength. I think if I can get through that, I can get through anything. And, you know, I have to remember that in Pierre and Sasha's name.
Which is an amazing thing, to think about. Just because you were there, you'd obviously suffered these traumatic injuries, but you didn't know whether help was going to come or not, because I know Pierre was warning you about the Russians coming, that you needed to be cautious because of that. You had no phone signal. Yes,
that's right. And, you know, in my mind, I was thinking I'll get home however I have to. It doesn't matter, whatever I'm going to do. And I was going to be ready to crawl home back to see my children. But amazingly, a Ukrainian Special Forces patrol, it passed us, didn't see us at first, and I was on the floor and I was trying to wave at it. And amazingly, that car got lost. It turned around and it came back the other way. And by that point, I decided to drag myself back up towards the road. And I was there and I had a handful of dirt and mud in my hand and I was throwing it at this car. And amazingly, they saw me at that point. And Pierre had cut his femoral artery, and so Pierre died, you know, after the attack, but I was still alive.
There was a moment you've talked about really vividly, Ben, when you had been knocked unconscious with the initial blast, I think, and from somewhere, one of your daughters sort of suddenly appeared to you,
mm-hmm.
and as if she was stood right in front of you,
yeah,
and sort of said, "Come on, Dad, you've got to get out."
Yeah, these bombs came from nowhere. It was an abandoned village, and when the second bomb landed and we were trying to reverse, it blacked me out, and I got shrapnel in my eye and a lot of shrapnel in my throat, and I was all blacked out, and I think I was as close to death as could be. And amazingly, into this blackness, into this place of close to death, I saw my daughter, and she came to me right in front of me. She said to me, "Daddy, you've got to get out of the car. You've got to get out of the car." And I came to, and it brought me back, and I took a couple grabs, handfuls to go. I got to outside the car, and then the third one hit the car itself. And, you know, that was all of my daughters together. And whether that was an angel, whether that was them, how close you are to family, something brought me out of that car that day, and that saved my life. Yeah.
Which is just incredible, isn't it? And how is it being back with your family now? How has that process been? Because obviously it's a big adjustment, isn't it?
It is. And look, I'm the same person I was before, but I'm a totally different person as well. Look, there are a lot of difficulties at home, you know, with prosthetics and the injuries I've got. But my daughter's children are incredibly resilient. And I think when you've got the family together, when you talk about it openly, when you go through these things, it makes you stronger. And I think as a family, we're incredibly strong. And it's my daughters and it's my wife, Alicia. I mean, I couldn't have done this without her. You know, you marry in sickness or in health, and we've been put